everybody, buenos dias. How are you feeling this morning? How did you wake up? Hopefully you are well rested after a good night of sleep and you're ready to start the cycle of a new day. It's a new day, a new morning. It's time for a little bit of yin time in the mornings as we watch the day unfold around us. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Cape Town today. So hopefully wherever you are in the world, you're enjoying a few quiet moments of yin and you're getting prepared to read together on day 160 of the year. According to 365 Tao by Deng Ming Dao, our word for today on day 160 is superstition. Don't know about you, but whenever I hear that word, I hear the song playing in the background. So I'm like, very superstitious. So that's going to be the soundtrack for today and soundtrack for today's reading. So grab your book and grab your journal and find that nice quiet and comfy place where you're not going to be disturbed for the next 15 minutes while we read together on the subject of superstition. Take a couple of nice deep breaths in and long exhales out to be here and now and present and ready to read together on day 160 on the subject of superstition. Let's read together. The voices of ghosts are so familiar, they whisper to me every day. You, so young and rich, make assumptions with absolute assurance. I vacillate between superstition and tradition. You don't need to question. Tradition is the oral delivery of rites and customs from generation to generation. Superstition is belief inconsistent with what society generally considers true and rational. When tradition and superstition become bound together, it is a sign of trouble. For example, a woman was once taught not to wash her hair on anybody's birthday. Whenever she protested this, the answer was, don't question. How many times have you heard that in your life? Don't question, just do it. This is interesting. Years later, she learned that in the old country, letting one's hair down was a sign of mourning and thus inauspicious on a birthday. So have a think about that. Something that, in the old country, from, generations before, in a different time, in a different context, in a different country, was considered mourning. For some reason, it had been carried over without question, because as it says here, don't question, and was still trying to be applied to something that actually didn't apply today. And I think that's what Deng Ming Dao was saying here, as he mentioned earlier, a sign of trouble, when tradition and superstition become bound together. And it's talking here about the importance of, yes, maintaining certain things, but also understanding that everything in life is a cycle, everything is constantly changing, and we can't just blindly follow things, as it says here, don't question, without really understanding, is this even relevant in this modern context anymore? So let's continue. This is a really good sentence here. What was etiquette in one generation became superstition in another. So it was relevant, it was etiquette back then, but right now, irrelevant. So we do need to question that, right? Let's continue. Those raised with traditions and superstitions are often torn between the extremes of biculturalism. Their inbred beliefs conflict with current knowledge and quickly changing culture, creating doubt and uncertainty. There has to be informed revision to all tradition if it is not to degenerate into superstition. And I really love the way he said that, informed revision. So instead of just blindly going along with something and not questioning it, it is a very healthy practice to have informed revision, to ask yourself, is this still relevant? Does this context actually, is this a reflection of what the original context was, or has this evolved so far beyond that it's no longer relevant? Informed revision, I think that's a really great, not word, but it's a really great thing to think about for a lot of things in life, but especially for this. It's a very healthy practice to revise what you're believing without questioning. The true substance of any tradition will take new form without compromising its inherent character. If not, it will just become the outmodelled beliefs of old people and it will fade into ghostly whispers. So this is a really important passage, not just for obviously superstition, but for anything in life that you perhaps just go along with without questioning it. Perhaps you want to take a few moments this morning to meditate on that, or use that as your journaling practice. Have a think, is there something that I just do in my life without question? And what would that look like if I did actually do an informed revision on that thing that I've just been following so blindly? It might be interesting to see what you've just been, kind of just going along with without really questioning why. It doesn't have to specifically relate to anything, cultural or superstitious, but I think it's a very important practice just to kind of take stock of, what you're doing, what you're believing in, the things that you're doing day to day, and making sure that you are every once in a while checking in and revising if that is still relevant to who you are and who you are in this context and who you want to become. Because as it says here, what was, something that may have been considered etiquette in the past, in a different country, in a different culture, with the cycle of time, with the evolution of life, with the evolution of self, it might not be relevant anymore. So it's a healthy thing to check in every once in a while and question, what am I doing? And, are you asking yourself those serious questions? Are you giving yourself a revision about what's really out there and how you're living? I think it's a healthy and important thing to do. So perhaps that can be your journaling practice for today. So I invite you to reread this passage in your own time. Pull out anything that's relevant to you and meditate on it or journal about it today. Thank you so much for being here for 160 days, and I will check in with you tomorrow.